interviewing. We have a career counselor who can work with you if you're undecided about your major or you wanted to confirm your major. And she may do some assessment testing with you to help you look at your personality and your interests, that kind of thing, to see if your major might be a good fit for you. So we offer all kinds of services. If you're looking for a job, we do receive jobs from different employers, and we post all those jobs on our webpage. And our webpage is listed at the bottom of the flyer, but where we post jobs is also listed in the off-campus section on the flyer. So if you're looking for a job, we do have on and off-campus jobs posted on our webpage as well. Now the next flyer, the green flyer, tells you about our career days. We host career days every fall and spring semester at all campuses. We have both the fall and spring career days listed. For the fall, we have two that we will host here on our campus. There's a professional career expo on Wednesday, October 26th from 12 to 3:30, and that's going to be over in Hubbard Hall, and that's open to all majors. Then we do an education career day, and we're hosting that one on November 9th, and that's on a Wednesday as well, in Hubbard Hall as well, from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. So as you can see, we host various career days at all of the campuses to assist you with basically looking for full-time employment opportunities and internships. So the employers that come to our career days, those are the kinds of opportunities they provide, either internships and or full-time employment opportunities. And then the orange sheet that you have tells you about different seminars that we're hosting this semester. We host seminars every fall and spring semester as well. This lists all the seminars that we host for the fall semester, and we have several set up, anywhere from resume development to interviewing to smart money management, dining etiquette, so all kinds of seminars that we'll be hosting. Now we do have door prizes at all the seminars. We will have a grand prize at the October 13th Dress for Success seminar. That grand prize is worth $500. And what you'll be able to do is, if you're the winner, and you must be present to win, you'll be able to shop at Dillard's and spend up to $500 on interviewing attire. What we also do is every seminar that you attend up until that point, we put your name into the drawing so you have more chances to win. We'll have other door prizes as well, but of course that'll be the grand prize. And like I said, we have all kinds of different seminars that we'll be hosting. These are the ones for the fall, and then we'll do additional ones in the spring. Some of these will be repeated in the spring, and then we try to add a few new ones, a little bit different ones in the spring as well to change it up a little bit. So we hope to see you at our events. If you're interested in any of our services, you will need to call and schedule an appointment because our schedule fills up pretty quickly, so it's better to call and schedule an appointment. For the other events, you don't necessarily have to call, especially for the career days. You can just come show up and attend those. Be sure if you come to the career days that you're dressed professionally or nicely, because professional attire is required. You want to make sure also that you bring some copies of your resume to distribute to the different employers. Now, some of the employers may not be taking resumes, but some will. So you definitely want to bring some copies of your resume. Speaking of the career days, I'm going to be doing a seminar on October 12th called Steps to Career Day Success. And that's a seminar to help you with getting prepared for the career days. I'm going to provide all kinds of tips on what to do before the career day, during the career day, and after the career day. I'm also going to talk to you about developing a resume. So I'll provide you with some good tips on getting prepared for those career days. So this is some information about what we do and what we'll be offering. So we really hope that we'll see you at other events that we're offering. Now I want to tell you a little bit about our presenter. Her name is Pam Stoker. She's from TCU. She's an assistant director there. And the way she was described to me is that she's the guru of LinkedIn. So I was told that she has a lot of good knowledge about LinkedIn when I was looking for someone to present the seminar. So that's why I selected her. And she's going to give you some information on networking, using LinkedIn for networking, as well as using LinkedIn for job search tips. So,
all right.
I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to Pam.
Good afternoon. How is everyone today? That didn't sound very enthusiastic. How is everyone today? Okay, are you awake? There's always a danger in accepting a request to speak after lunch, because everybody is like, and the room is dim. So I'm going to expect you to participate, to ask questions along the way. There's a lot of material that I'm going to present today, but before I get started, I want to make sure that I'm covering all the things that you came to get. I would hate to have anybody leave and say, well, that was useless. She didn't even answer the question I wanted to know. So I have a couple of questions. First of all, I'd like to know, since this is a small group, I'd like to know your name, your major, and what you want to do, what your current career target is when you'll graduate. Can we start at the back?
My name is Brian Costa. I'm a graduate student. My major is kinesiology. I have minors in counseling psychology and biology. My primary, well, my focal interest is probably teaching. Outside of that, I'm pretty reticent to actually take a job from an employer, but I came in to just kind of see what you had to say about these networking tips. What's out there. So.
Okay. Okay, good, good. So with kinesiology, you want to teach who? Physical therapists?
Teaching biology.
Oh, biology, okay.
I'm really interested in teaching things.
Okay, okay. At what level do you want to teach? You want to teach at the college level? High school?
Preferably in college.
College.
I have some experience doing that, but I've been unemployed for the last few years.
Okay, good time to go back to school.
I've been in school pretty much my entire life.
Okay, teaching is a good thing for you then. All right, thank you. And what is your name?
Brian.
Brian. You said that, thank you.
My name is Bobby.
Bobby.
My major is nursing. Yeah.
What area of nursing interests you?
I haven't looked at that yet.
Okay, and when will you graduate? Oh, freshman. Good, good. Okay, thank you, Bobby.
I'm Rachel, and I actually work in the career services department. I'm the employee relations specialist.
Yes, yes, star student. And what do you want to do?
I want to work in the career services department.
That's a good answer. Is she your boss? Yes, yes. Oh boy, that was strategic. That was strategic. If you were not working for the next 20 years in the career services, what other thing would you be interested in doing?
I am considering getting my EDD in higher education from the University of North Texas.
Mm-hmm.
I'm getting ready to take the GRE.
Okay, okay, good. Very good. Rachel, okay.
Jessica and Kenise, but also I want to minor in communication science and biology, and my major is OT
Okay,
for my master's, but I'm still Kenise.
okay.
And I want to be an OT.
All right, okay. For a hospital, for a sports team, what?
Well, in the end, I want to work with children in the hospital, or any school district. But starting out, I'm going to travel, so probably work in a home or something, like different homes.
Okay, okay. Like a home health?
Kind of, you know how they can call you and be like, into a certain area,
Mhm.
and then they pay you like to live there and take care of the people, like a group of people that live
Sure,
there.
okay.
Yes, that type of thing.
Okay, okay. Good. And tell me your name again.
Jessica?
Jessica, okay. Brian, Bobby, Rachel, Jessica.
My name is Denise.
Tell me again.
Denise.
Denise. Okay.
Yes, I'm a junior senior. Junior because this is my first semester senior because I'm graduating in May.
Okay.
So, and I have a lot of credit hours. I'm a government major with emphasis in legal studies. I already have an associate paralegal, and I want to go to law school. And after law school, I want to do international human rights.
Okay.
That's where I'm.
Excellent. Excellent. You've got your roadmap all planned out. Good. Good. Nice to meet you, Rachel.
Oh. Hi, my name is Frances, and my major will be biochemistry, and I think after that I'm going to go either to medical path. So I'm going to like go to medical school. And
Okay.
then after that, become a doctor. I want to be a family doctor, like a what's that they call it? MD or something. But yeah, something like that.
Okay, good. And
And then after that, I want to go to Africa and open my own hospital. So
okay, what part of Africa?
West Africa.
Okay, any particular country?
Sierra Leone.
Okay, okay. Do you have a connection there?
Oh yes, I was born there.
All right, okay, good, good. Oh, I got some ambitious people here. This is very good. And you are
I'm Verity.
Barony?
I work for computer services.
All right.
My major is business marketing, and I plan on getting my doctorate in marketing eventually. Hopefully, I can transfer it as me to get my doctorate. If not, then maybe ENT, and then I want to open up my own marketing business.
Good. Here?
Yes, here and globally.
Okay. What do you want to market?
Anything and everything.
Anything that needs promotion. All right, good, good. I've been at TCU for 7 years in graduate career services, and my primary role is overseeing the career course for the new MBA students and all of the career and professional development opportunities for all of the MBA students and the Master of Accounting students at TCU. But this is not my first career. I did this for 6 years prior to TCU, but before that I managed a surgical clinic, surgical oncology, for 14 years, and I didn't know much about healthcare when I got into that, but it was a friend of mine who asked me to do that, and I said, sure, I can do that. I'll try. And before that, I taught piano for 9 years. My undergraduate degree was music education, and I still have a passion for music, and I still do that on the side as a volunteer. So your career can lead you many different directions. You don't always have to do just one thing, but what I hear in most of your voice, well, really everybody, is some passion for something, and that's really where you ought to go. You're going to find LinkedIn is a really good tool to promote yourself, because as an individual, everybody has their own brand, whether you like it or not. It may be somebody else's perception of you, or it may be a brand that you are actually creating intentionally. And so just so that you'll understand about brands, a student emailed me just a few minutes ago, and she met a recruiter from Nike recently at a career event, and this recruiter has asked her for a marketing resume. And she said, I've got a supply chain resume. And I said, well, you're going to make a marketing resume, aren't you? Don't you? I mean, if you want to even be considered at Nike. So she's going to tailor her resume toward more of the marketing terms and things that she has done. It's just not been her primary role. So she is creating her own brand. When I say Nike, what do you think?
Shoes.
Shoes. All right, what else? Running? Okay. What?
Just do it.
Just do it. That's right. That's their slogan. When I say Target, what do you think?
Store.
Clothes.
Bullseye.
Bullseye. Yeah, the Target. When I say American Airlines. Planes. What else? Do you know what their slogan is?
Fly.
It's "We know why you fly."
Yeah.
What about GE? What do you think of with GE?
Degree.
What?
It's electricity.
A winter scene?
Electricity.
Oh, electricity. Boy, got to fix my ears. Electricity. Right. It used to be General. I mean, it's still General Electric, but that's not all they do. They have a lot of different. They have an energy division, a healthcare division, everything. Do you know what their slogan is? It used to be, "We bring good things to life," but it changed a few years ago to something much more young and creative. It's GE, Imagination at Work. So they were trying to attract a younger demographic to their company, so they changed their slogan away from the ones that their grandmothers had heard. So your brand, think about what you want other people to think about you, because LinkedIn is a way to do that. Now, a little bit about LinkedIn. LinkedIn has now currently 120 million users. And this is on your handout if you want to take notes. 1 new person per second is joining LinkedIn. It's been around since 2003, and when I joined in 2004, I had just been laid off from my job. A friend of mine that I had met virtually, I'd never met him, I've still never met him in person. He was a recruiter in Connecticut. I sent out a message to everybody that I knew, status update, my job has just been eliminated. I am now open for business to help anybody with a resume or interview coaching or whatever you need. I can do that for you now, I have time. So he sent me a message, and it was an invitation to connect with him on LinkedIn. Well, at that time, LinkedIn probably had about 20,000 users. And I was very suspicious, so I researched all the different networking sites that were around. There were only about 6. And this was the only one that was strictly business. They had a lot of controls. They had a track record. All of the news reports, the Washington Post was the one that really kind of won me over. That LinkedIn is strictly business. It's a great way to have a professional profile and connect with people in a professional manner. They actually will remove a profile if they see random messages that look more social, more personal than professional. They keep it pretty clean. And they're always updating according to users' input. Twitter, how many of you have a Twitter account? 1, 2, 3? Okay. I have a Twitter account because a lot of companies are now posting their late-breaking jobs, their most current jobs, through a tweet. And if you are interested in that particular company and you follow, like friend on Facebook, if you follow that company on Twitter, then you will get the first notice of any of their openings, their job openings. It's faster and more up-to-date than their website. Their website, it may be updated on a daily basis, but certainly not on a second-by-second basis. So if you're interested in a company or in an industry or in a person who is in an area that you want to be in, if they're kind of a spokesperson for your industry, then go to Twitter, create an account. It takes about 5 minutes, less than that, because you just need your name and email address. Other people can't see your email address. All they see is your stage name if you want to create another name. Some people don't even put their picture on Twitter if they want to be anonymous. So it's a little easier to do that on Twitter than on some of the other sites. LinkedIn wants your real picture because it's business-to-business networking. But Twitter is a really great way to find out up-to-date news. And then Facebook has 750 million users, and I heard today that they're making a few more new changes, some privacy controls and some different changes. I'm sure they're trying to keep up with the new Google networking site. But half of their 750 million users are using Facebook mobile every day. I mean, on any one day, half of their users are using Facebook mobile. It's just mind-boggling. So today I'm going to talk mostly about LinkedIn because, as one college student told me about a year ago, she was in college in Boston. She was a senior theater major, and she was about to graduate, so she was working on her LinkedIn profile. I said, how do you use these 3 sites? And she said, well, I use Facebook for my friends that I already know. I don't really make new friends on Facebook. I'd rather meet them first and then connect with them on Facebook because, meeting new people on Facebook is a little creepy. So I said, okay, I can agree with that. And she said, Twitter is where I get the news that I need for a class discussion that I'm about to have. So if there's going to be a discussion in class or a topic discussed in one of her classes, she will find that company or industry or topic, you know, if it's royalty rights or if it's, I don't know, healthcare in the theater industry. It could be anything. Then she's reading that while she's walking to class. She's reading. And she knows that when she gets to class, she's going to have more up-to-date information than anybody else in the class unless they have read the same thing. Because if you do research on the website, you know, you're getting the stuff that they want you to know. But this is late-breaking news. It may not be necessarily from the company. It may be somebody else reporting about something that's going on in that company or with that person. So that's how she uses Twitter. And I said, okay, so how do you use LinkedIn? And she said, well, since I'm about to graduate, I'm inviting most of my Facebook friends to join me on LinkedIn. Because I know that everybody that I'm going to school with is going to scatter across the country and around the world. And I want to have that kind of global network based on the friends that I already have. So I thought that was pretty clean to divide those three. But she finds value in all three for different parts of her life. Okay, now why should you use any of these? Visible and memorable. If you have opened a business and you don't have a website, are you visible? You're visible to the people who walk by, but that's just the people who live in that neighborhood or who might drive by. To be successful in business these days, you have to have an online presence. So, is visible always good? What about if you make a big mistake and it's public? Visible can be negative. Visible can be positive. So you need to be visible, however you're going to do, and you need to be memorable. So what's memorable about you now? When people meet you, what are the things that they say? What are words that other people use to describe you? Anybody? What's a word? Yes?
You put a smile on my face.
Oh, that's great. That's great. And that ought to be on your profile. My friends say, I put a smile on their face. And you can put that in quotations and italic or bold or something to make it kind of jump off the page. That sounds like a company slogan for cupcakes or flowers or something. Okay, anybody else? What do some people say about you? It can be just one word. What?
Organized.
Organized, okay, all right. I once worked with a woman who was loved being an executive assistant, office manager. She just found such joy in organizing other people's messes. So she was creating a business card for her job search. And the business card said, have office, will organize. And then on the back, it had her name, her cell phone number, and her email address. And that was her business card. So she wanted to be remembered. She was creating her brand by that. Okay, so think of things that other people say about you, because those are other people's perception. Now, if they're negative things that they say about you, if you believe that they are true, then you probably need to work on some damage control and get rid of those negative perceptions. Or just focus on the positive. Sometimes that's probably better. You can't fix messes as easily as you can create a new you. All right, so visible and memorable. With this, I'm going to switch from the handout that you have, and I'm going to use the handout now really as a guide, an outline. I'm going to go straight to the internet, and I want to show you a video. Do we have sound on this? Okay, all right. I'm going to show you a video. This is one of the links. Look on the back of your sheet under the Learning Centers box, the back of the slide sheet. Learning Center box. This is the third bullet there. This is a LinkedIn grad guide. And I'm only going to play half of it. It's about 5 minutes, but we're just going to look at the first 2.5 minutes. Okay, no sound. How do I get sound? Do you know how I get sound? Do you know how I get sound? Oh, it's on mute. Okay. Not mic, we want the program. Let's try that.
The first in our series of training videos designed to help you get the most out of LinkedIn as a student or recent grad. This is the first of 6 topics to help you use LinkedIn in your job search and your career planning.
Got a lot of bass
It's
there.
no secret that it's a tough economy right now, and it's particularly tough for college students and recent grads just entering the job market. To get started, I'd like to share the story of Anne, a 2009 graduate of the University of Idaho.
Can you hear
Anne
her
was looking
speaking?
for an internship in marketing and international business, and she really wanted to move to Seattle. She started using LinkedIn's advanced search function to search local Seattleites in her field, reviewing the profiles of the people who had the job that she eventually wanted. Anne paid special attention to the consistencies in the profiles of these people and where they had initially started their careers. After checking the websites of these firms, one company seemed to be exactly what Anne had been searching for. She quickly clicked over to LinkedIn's company pages where she was able to find lots of information about that company and also check out the profiles of people who worked there. On your screen, you can see an example of a LinkedIn company page just like the one Anne looked at. Once she had done her research, Anne wrote a nice friendly LinkedIn connection request to a person who was listed as recently having interned at this company. His name was Henry. This is the beginning on your screen of the actual email that Anne sent to Henry on LinkedIn. Well, it turned out that Henry was happy to help an ambitious, polite college student, and he briefed Anne on pretty much everything you might need to know to get an interview at his company. She was able to tailor her resume and cover letter specifically to the company, and her interviewer told Anne that she had one of the best applications he had ever seen. And now, thanks in part to LinkedIn, Anne is happy and employed in Seattle. As you can see from Anne's story, LinkedIn doesn't do the work for you, but it makes it so much easier for you to make connections and leverage those connections to help you get a foot in the door with potential employers. In short, LinkedIn helps you get where you want to go. Before we look more closely at how LinkedIn works and how it can help you, let's be clear about what LinkedIn is not. LinkedIn is not the place to post party photos or status updates about your cat. It's also not a traditional job board where you see long lists of jobs with no relevant information that can help you land that position. What LinkedIn is a professional social network that helps people make the most of their trusted professional relationships.
Okay. Boy, could you hear her speaking? I think I'm just right under the bass. It sounded like, you know, boom, 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 boom. It was just a little loud right over here, but I'm glad you heard. That was just a little introduction. If you listen to it on headphones, you'll be able to hear her speaking a little bit better. And there's more, but I'm going to move on because I want to show you the real LinkedIn. How many of you already have a LinkedIn account? Okay. If you do... Oh, okay. Let's... a new installed program. I don't want to restart now. Okay, the computer is going to restart. I'm going to go ahead and restart now, so it'll do it really fast. All right, so while that's restarting, one of the most important, oh, now I'm getting away from the microphone. I'm sorry. One of the most important attributes that anybody can have, probably one of the most valuable that employers like, is adaptability. So right now we're adapting to a different situation, and this is going to be back up in just a minute maybe. Do you think it will restart? Okay. All right. Are any of you concerned about putting information on a website like LinkedIn? Yes? Okay. What are some of your concerns? Because I know a lot of people have privacy concerns, personal information out there for a lot of people to see. That's basically it, yeah. And anybody who has had their credit card compromised is always a little bit more suspicious about things like this. I've been a LinkedIn user, and they call me a power user because I use it on a daily basis. I've used it since 2004. I have never received any spam from LinkedIn, and it's really remarkable that in 7 years I've really not gotten anything like that. I have connected with people all over the world, and there's an etiquette about LinkedIn. Everybody is expected to be polite and respectful. It's just part of the culture, and I think that's one of the things that attracts me to it. Do any of you play golf, or do you know somebody who plays golf? Okay. What's the most important thing about the game of golf?
I know someone who plays, but I've never played.
Okay, okay, okay.
Maybe patience, because it seems to take a long time.
Well, that's true. You do have to be very, very patient. I've only played 2 games in my life, but I took lessons from a group of people who were being taught by 3 PGA pros. And as they taught us a skill, then they would teach us about 10 things about the etiquette of golf. And they said golf is used so much in business because they used to call it a gentleman's game. You know, I don't really like that term because it's not just a gentleman's game, it's everybody's game, and it's very accessible. If you can use a public course and somebody else gives you some clubs. But it's really not about the game. It's about what you do during the game, how you interact. A lot of employers, a lot of recruiters I know will take somebody out for a game of golf. Even if they don't really play very well, that's not the point. They're looking to see how they play the game, how they are respectful. If they lose their temper and throw the club on the ground, it's just a game. If they're going to lose their temper at a game, what will they do in the workplace? If their ball goes off into the weeds, do they automatically pick up the ball and put it back on the green, or do they play it from the weeds? It tells them something about the person's character. So I know some people who have lost opportunities because they failed at playing the game. Not because they couldn't play very well, but because they showed their true character. And it wasn't the kind of person that the employer wanted. So there are a lot of different ways to evaluate a person, and golf is one of those ways. LinkedIn is also one of those ways. So if I have a friend who just accepts everybody who comes his way, whether he knows them or not, because he wants a lot of people in his network. Well, I don't really see the point of that. I want a lot of people, but I want to have at least a conversation with each one of them. So if I get an invitation from somebody who just puts the stock question, oh, thank you, we're back up, just puts the stock question, statement, I'd like to invite you to connect with my network on LinkedIn. And I don't know this person. Well, first I'll look at their profile and see if maybe there's a school connection or a work connection or some interest or something. And if I can't find any connection, I will not automatically reject or accept. But if they have an interesting background and I see that perhaps it could help me in the future or it could help one of my students, then I will send back a message without accepting their invitation and just say, thank you so much for the invitation to connect with you on LinkedIn. I'm curious as to what in my profile caught your attention. And that gives them the opportunity to then tell me the story, why they found me, what they're really wanting to connect with me for. And many times it'll be, oh, I should have said this first. Your mother and my mother used to go to school together, or we grew up, we were in the same daycare together. We just didn't know each other then, or something, crazy. But then it starts a conversation, and we will go back and forth that way and see, what are you doing? What am I doing? How can we help each other? And if I feel good about that, then I'll say, sure, let's connect. So I want everybody, because it's my reputation that I'm protecting. And that's really important to me. I don't want to connect with just some random person who turns out to be a serial killer. And I didn't know it because I didn't check it out. So You do have to go kind of on faith on a little bit, but you can see who they know, and if they know some people that you know, you can even ask, how well do you know this person? Would this be a good person for me to connect with? So that's how I use LinkedIn. I use it very carefully, protecting my reputation, but also building on what I already have and building my professional brand. Does that make sense? Okay. It'll make more sense when you see how we actually do that. Okay, so let's get back on LinkedIn. And you just go to linkedin.com and you would, as soon as it comes, maybe it's, yeah. I'm already logged in, but you would just click and create your own profile. Now here's what you should do before you start reaching out to other people, because what's the first thing they're going to do when they get an invitation from you to connect or ask a question?
Resume. Check your background.
They're going to check your background. Well, the easiest way for them to do that, since they're already on LinkedIn, is to go and find your profile on LinkedIn. And if your profile has 2 lines, then they're wondering, wow, am I the first person she's contacted? You need to create that profile. And it's really easy. So here's how you would do that. All of the things that you would do on LinkedIn are all across this top menu bar. See that lots of drop-down menus. So you would go to Profile and Edit Profile. The goal is to have 100% profile completeness. And as you build your profile, they will tell you, do this and you will be 15% more along the way, or do this and add 5% more completeness. So it will walk you through the things that you need to put on here. Now notice all the things that I'm telling, it's all public information. I'm telling them what I do. Career management consultant isn't really my title anymore. It was once upon a time, but it's still what I do. I help people manage their careers, whether they're just starting out or whether they've been in business for 40 years. Helping you manage your own career, because nobody else is going to do it for you. There's nobody at your next workplace who's going to say, okay, let's talk about your career. There might be, if you're really lucky and you work for a company that provides professional development and mentoring and somebody to really walk with you through that. Let's review every year. What's your professional development plan? What would you like to be doing in 5 years or 2 years? Or what skill would you like to add? That would be a really sweet company if you can find somebody like that that will help you, partner with you in managing your own career. What do you want to do with life? All right, so career management consultant is just what I'm calling myself, kind of an overarching thing. So what's something that you would call yourself? You have a LinkedIn profile already?
Yes.
What do you have as your kind of profile?
I've used my title, employee relations specialist, but prior to that, I was human relations professional.
Okay. So you're actually using your current job title, and that's good. That's fine. So you can, if you're wanting to do something different, you can actually create what is it that you want to do, because you're creating your new brand. And then you would choose the location, of course, where you want to be identified, and what is your industry. Because sometimes people are looking for people in a certain industry, and you might pop up. Keywords. LinkedIn is keyword driven. Every search is done by looking for words that might be in your profile, anywhere. So when you're creating your profile, you really have to think of what are words that other people are going to be using to find somebody like me so that I'll pop up in their results. So if you're going into nursing, then you would want people in healthcare, right, to look for you. If you're in biology, you're going to be looking for people who have an interest in science, maybe other types of science, kinesiology. What are some other words in your industry?
Well, just mulling that over and for me, I'm interested in sustainability solutions for communities, and I'm sort of in my academic profile, I'm trying to blend biology, psychology, and sociology academically. It's like a biopsychosocial kind of buzz term that I'm kind of creating.
Okay.
So I'm curious about whether or not, how that would be receptive, on a profile, and what I would put, words I would choose would be like sustainability, geothermal options.
Oh, yeah.
Anything that I could come up with that's relating to saving energy, my willingness to teach classes, et cetera, et cetera. I mean, adaptability is something that you threw out there. And for me, I'm worried more about being pigeonholed into a mundane position than anything else. Like, that would be a terrible, I wouldn't last.
Yeah.
I couldn't do it.
I think by using some of the words that you've already thrown out, nobody's going to, that's not mundane, and you're going to attract the attention of people who want our planet to thrive, to thrive and still be around. Yeah. Oh, those are great words. Have you seen the YouTube clip about the man in, I don't even know if it's in Kenya, it's some country in Africa, I think, and he has created light for people without electricity. Is it Kenya? Is it Kenya? The soda bottle light bulbs. It's a solar tube made out of a soda bottle that has been secured to a piece of tin, and they cut a hole in the roof and they fill the bottle with water and bleach, and then they put it in the roof, and suddenly they have a solar light.
Wow, because glaciers filled it.
Capturing photons from outside.
Absolutely.
Right.
And it gives light to the inside for the first time in years. And I can't remember how many hundreds, 800 of these or something like that he has personally done. And it's just his personal mission to create light for people in dark houses. So you might look on YouTube for the soda bottle solar light or something like that. It's fascinating. It's fascinating. Somebody shared it with me this week, and I posted it. And the people who are posting, oh my gosh, what a clever thing. Good for him. I wish everybody would invent things like that. It's sustainability. It's something for the greater good. So those are words that you definitely should put in your profile. And when we get around to the groups, there's a group called Green. And I'm a member of that group because I just love the thought of taking care of our planet in many different ways. So, and it's a really big group. So you're going to see that that's a good thing. All right. One thing I want to show you, and this is kind of a little thing, but not everybody knows about it. So I want to show it to you. Well, when you're creating your profile, you're going to have a place to put your current work, if you're in school, you would list what you're doing as a student, some activities, what you really want to do. But right here, this public profile, if you've ever wanted a web page where you can have your resume, basically, online, then this is one way to do that. This URL is mine alone. It's my URL that I can put in an email. I actually have it at the bottom of my signature block. I don't know if you noticed that, Sherry, but in my signature block I have my title, my contact information, my email address, and then right after that I have my Skype name and my LinkedIn URL. So that if somebody gets an email from me and they want to know a little bit more about me, all they have to do is click on my LinkedIn URL. That's my profile, public profile. And it takes them to this page and tells them probably more than they wanted to know about me. But that's a very easy way, because it's not always appropriate to send your resume along in every email you send. But this is a way to do that. So when you get your LinkedIn profile and you're working on it, be sure and click on the edit button next to this, because that will give you an opportunity to change the last piece. The part that says Pam Stoker, I got to choose that. Everything else is standard. But when you click edit on yours, it won't do it on mine because mine's already fixed. Then you can take out all the random numbers and letters with your name kind of embedded in that stuff, clean it up and just put your name so that it looks like your web page. All those numbers mean are the date, the year, what number LinkedIn user you are. That's what they are. But
so the whole thing is your profile, is your resume?
Yeah.
Your profile is your resume?
Your profile can be your online resume, but you can put more on this than you would put on a regular resume.
Okay.
So I like that idea because you can always keep this updated. You don't have to email it to anybody. It's there. And with as many people, 120 million people using LinkedIn, chances are that a lot of people you know are already using LinkedIn, or the people that you want to know you. All right, the main section in the profile is this summary section. This is sort of like a mini bio about me. If I wanted somebody to know pretty quickly in a nutshell what I do, what I've done recently, what organizations I belong to, then this paragraph would be it. The next part, the specialties, do you see any sentences? It's just a string of keywords. These are all the things that I think people might be using, keywords, to find me. Because these are all the things that I really like to do. Now, I wouldn't list skills that I have that I don't enjoy, because somebody's going to find it and call me and say, oh, wow, I saw this on your LinkedIn profile. Can you help us? And I'm thinking, oh, I wish I'd taken that off. Because there are some things that everybody's good at but you don't particularly enjoy. That's not your strength. That's just a skill. I know how to hammer a nail, but I don't want to do it all day long. But other people are good at it. All right, so on down at the very bottom of this section is an additional information. And this is where you really can put anything you want. I've listed some websites that are important to me. The Stoker Resources Group is actually my husband's consulting business. I've listed some other things: music, travel, sports, dancing, family, church, connecting people, ideas, opportunities. If you have ever taken an assessment that identifies your strengths, you can list those here. So I took the Strengths Finder, Strengths Quest, and these are the 5 strengths that were identified for me, and I totally agree with every one of them. Woo, by the way, if you don't know, means winning others over. Some people tell me I'm very persuasive. But I like to connect with people, so that's what that is. So you can put anything you want to in there. And sometimes it's somebody saying, I'll get this random email saying, I saw that you're interested in music. Can you tell me more about that? Okay. Because they are a musician as well. So whatever it is that connects you with other people, it's a great thing. So put your interests. If you love dogs, if you've always wanted to fly a plane, put those things in there, because you're going to find somebody else out there who likes that as well. Okay, let's see. All right. There are a lot more things in here. Let me see.
I had a question. Are your
Yes.
interests, it said 2 degrees away? Has some number on the 2 degrees away and 3 degrees away?
Yeah. I have over 3,100 contacts on LinkedIn, and these are people that I have reached out to. Well, everybody that I have connected with specifically, directly, like if any of you, and I hope you'll all send me an invitation to connect to you, then we'll be first degree connections, because we've done something together, we've experienced, a learning opportunity together. So we'll be first degree. But that means that everybody that's in your network is a second degree contact to me. And everybody that's in my network is your second degree contact. And the more people you connect to, the more pockets of people you have access to. And it doesn't mean that you're just going to go out and spam everybody. What that means is if you're looking for somebody in your field, you have more people that are going to show up in your results. And so we're going to do a search in just a minute, and you're going to see that not everybody in my search is a first degree contact. You're going to see first degree, second degree, third degree, and groups. So it really goes far, far out depending on how you're using LinkedIn. And the groups is one of the most dynamic groups. These are the groups. All these are the groups that I belong to. And there's the green. It's a little recycle triangle. I love this one, happiness at work, because I think everybody ought to love their work. It shouldn't feel like work to you. There's a Facebook user group. There's a Dallas Blue Business Network. This is an interesting one. The fellow who started this group actually started an in-person networking group in Dallas. He's a businessman. I think he's a realtor. But he started a networking time just for friends of his and people, business connections, to come and get together and meet each other. Then he started this LinkedIn group, and it's attracting people from all over the world. If they come to Dallas, they contact him or they look on his webpage and see when is their next get-together. Sometimes they schedule their travel so that they'll be here for one of the in-person meetings. So he's taking this virtual networking and making it personal.
That's really cool.
It really is. It really is. So it's right here, and there are people all over the country doing that, but he's doing it very, very well. And he has a job board on his page because there are a lot of job seekers, a lot of business people who he's known, and it just keeps on growing. So if you want virtual to become personal, this is a great group to belong to. So you see that these aren't all professional organizations that you have to be a member before you join this group. Most of these are just interest groups. And it's a way to connect people with other people. There's a Gmail group. There's a jobs group. So there are a lot of different groups. Here's one called Well-Dressed Professionals, because I think it matters what you wear in the workplace. And I think conservative is better than casual, because I think people behave better when they're dressed up than if they're just wearing their Saturday clothes. So that's just my old-fashioned thought, but it works well in a career center, right? Okay. One of the things that you will need to do as you're getting to 100% on your profile is you will need to get some recommendations on your profile. And I'm spending a lot of time on the profile because that really is, that's you. That's a representation of you. And okay, I'm watching the clock. You get recommendations. All right. When I was a little girl, I would ask my mother, I would complain to my mother that I never got any mail. Everybody else got mail but me. And we didn't really get a lot of junk mail when I was a little girl. People hadn't figured that out. So I really didn't get any mail. So my mother said, well, you know, the best way to get a letter is to send a letter. So I bet your grandmother would like to hear what you're doing in kindergarten, whatever, you know. And so she helped me write a letter to my grandmother. And sure enough, about a week later, I got a letter in the mail. And I thought, hey, this works. So that started a long relationship. My grandmother is no longer living, but my mother is 92, and she is a wonderful letter writer. Her handwriting has gotten a little shaky, and so she has resorted to email. She knows how to use a computer, and she knows how to send pictures on email. I love her for that. So if you want to get some recommendations, you could just ask, like when you were getting ready to go to college, and you had to get your favorite teacher or your youth minister or a family friend who is a business leader. You had to get somebody's recommendation. Well, that was a whole letter from somebody who knew you very well and had seen you in many different settings. This is not the same as that. This is much smaller. This is just a little tiny piece of that. So if one of our students asks me, would you write a recommendation for me? Absolutely I will, because I can find 3 words that are positive to say about everybody. And if I don't have much time, then what I will do is say, 3 words that I would use to describe Bill are responsible, adaptable, and friendly, or congenial, or something that I think will put him in a good light. But these are true words. He may be a jerk sometimes, but I'm not going to hold that against him, because everybody has some redeeming qualities. And those are the things that I'm going to put, because I just think it's better to take the high road. And sometimes when you expect a child to behave, they're going to behave better than if you just assume that they're going to misbehave. You know, the expectation. So maybe my little recommendation will help him feel better about himself and make him do those things more. I don't know. But I just think it's a kind thing to do, because I would like for him to write a recommendation for me. So here's what I would recommend to you. If there's somebody that you would love to write a recommendation for you, go ahead and write one for them. Don't tell them you're going to do it, just do it. It's like a present. When they receive the notice that you've written a recommendation, and it can just be 1 line, 2 lines. Sherry Williams is my favorite staff member at Texas Women's University. She's always there for me. She's always offering good advice, and she will cheer me up when I'm feeling frustrated.
That sounds really good.
Yeah. If you do that and Sherry gets a notice that you've written a recommendation, it's going to be like opening a Christmas present or a birthday present, because it's going to be so unexpected. She's going to feel really good about you. She's probably going to proof it to make sure you haven't made any typos or misspelled words. And if you have, then I would not hold it against her to send it back to you saying, wow, thank you so much. This was just like a bluebird coming and landing on my shoulder. I would love to accept this, but I would love to put you in a better light by correcting these misspelled words. I actually did that to a friend of mine. And he changed 2 of the misspelled words and left 1, and I thought, well, it's good enough. Because it was just such a special thing that he had done for me.
Can you not correct it yourself when you put it on there?
You can't. The person who writes it is the only person who can make changes.
Okay.
You just have to accept it and say thank you. Or reject it and say, I love this, but fix it.
Because that happened to me on a recommendation, and I just changed the word.
Could you change it? When somebody, on a letter. On a
I
letter.
printed out a resume, I just changed the word.
Yeah, you can do that. It's okay. I mean, if it's misspelled and you're in a bind, it's going to make them look good.
Oh, I wasn't in a bind, I just didn't want to tell them they misspelled it.
Oh, you didn't want to hurt their feelings?
Yeah.
That's all right. So, I would recommend that you go to somebody's recommendation page. You could pull up Sherry Williams, write one for her, because she was kind enough to create this opportunity for you to come. Write something for her, and then when she gets it and approves it, then LinkedIn helps you out a little bit and gives her a prompt. At least they used to. I hope they still do. And it says, would you be willing to return the favor? Or write I don't think they actually say that, but I think that's what it really means. Would you be willing to write a recommendation for her? And then you can choose to do it or not. So everybody that you do one for is not automatically going to send one. If they don't do it automatically, then you're in a better position to ask them to write a short recommendation for you as you build your LinkedIn profile. Does that make sense?
Yes.
You give something before you ask for something back. And it's always a pretty good thing. All right. Let's go to, who do you invite? You can invite anybody to your LinkedIn profile. You can start with the people that you know. Now, if you go to, look on the back page again, the very last line on the Learning Center, that link is for a tutorial. For anything that you want to know about LinkedIn, go to learn.linkedin.com, and there are all kind of categories. So if you get stuck on something, go there, and that will help you through some of the things that we won't have time to talk about today. So I'm going to take you to groups now. Now, if you want to invite other people to your LinkedIn network, go to your home page, and we're going to go out of the edit now. Okay, this is my home page. I'm going to stop right quick, and I'm going to share an update. A couple of days ago, actually it was last night, I was leading a LinkedIn workshop for a group of CPA. It was their leadership development class here in town. And so I changed my status to show what I was doing. Do you see this little Twitter bird right here? I have the box next to the little bird checked so that anything I put here will automatically go out as a tweet from my Twitter page as well. So it cuts my work in half, and I don't have to go to Twitter and write the same thing. So they've done a nice thing for me here. They've saved me a lot of time because I want to share the same things on Twitter that I share professionally. So I'm going to change my status right now. Let's see. And if you're going to put something, you can start with your name and finish the sentence. So Pam Stoker is, I'm going to start right there, is, and see, they're going to count how many characters I do, so it's going to limit me if I want it to be a tweet, is enjoying leading a, what are we calling this? Yeah.
LinkedIn seminar, or LinkedIn career
LinkedIn networking and job search tips for a fabulous group of students at Texas Woman's University in Denton. All right, so y'all are a fabulous group of students. All right, there we go. So I'm going to share it, and it's going to be visible to anybody who sees it. This automatically will show up on everybody that I'm connected to as a status update, just like it does on Facebook. So look down here. It says who's viewed your profile. Your profile has been viewed by 11 people in the past 3 days. Anytime I post a status update, that number rises because it's being seen by other people. Maybe somebody hasn't taken a look at what I'm doing lately, or maybe it's somebody who's never heard of me, but they see it on somebody's page. They'll look there.
Can you see the people that view you?
You can see 5 of them, I think 4 or 5. So you click on that, and it tells me, Dustin Downing is one of our graduates. So for some reason, he's looked at my profile. When you create your privacy controls, you can limit what somebody sees when you look at their profile. So these 2 anonymous LinkedIn users have said, I do not want my identity revealed when I look at somebody else's profile. And it may be somebody who is, it may be somebody that I know that's searching for a job, but their boss doesn't know. And so, sometimes if you're in a job search, you want to keep it under wraps, except for people who you really know. And then this district manager at ADP, that's somebody that I met last night, probably, because she was at the group. Let me see if I click on that. What do I see? Wow. Oh, we're sorry, but there's an error. Okay, that's all right. It's not that big a deal. Okay, they're trying to create more value for the LinkedIn users. I want to look at groups, because you saw the groups that I'm a member of. You can actually be a member of up to 50 different groups. And some of my groups told things about me that my actual words didn't tell. The green group tells people that I'm interested in sustainability, recycling, conserving energy. It could be a lot of different things that I feel responsible for our world. So let's do a group search. In the groups directory, I'd like for you to, somebody just give me a keyword, a topic that you want to find a group for.
Human rights.
Human rights, okay. Okay, United Nations open link. There are 13,000 members of that group. So if you joined that group, you would be in the company, the virtual company, of other people who are like-minded with you. And the good news about that is that almost every group has discussions going on, and you can participate in those discussions. It's another way to be visible, but it's also a way to share your ideas with other people who will respect what you say. And you can connect with some of them. I mean, if you're connecting with people who are in the global community surrounding the United Nations, you don't have to have worked there, you don't have to be a member there or anything. It's just that you believe in the United Nations and what they stand for. So that would be a great group for you to join. The good news is that when you join a group, you can send messages directly to everybody within that group without knowing their email address. So here's an example. I'm going to go, I'm not a member of this group, and then there's another one. This looks like more the official UN down here. They've got 5,000 members. That's still Human Rights, Amnesty International. You've got a lot of groups here that you might want to be a part of. The largest group in any category is listed at the top. Okay? All right. And since I'm not a member of that group, I can't see the membership in the group. So I'm going to go to one of my groups, and I'm going to give you an example of the power of LinkedIn. All right, I'm going to go to, well, let's go to green. I'll go to the green group. Okay, you see, here's a discussion. I could start a discussion. If I had a question that I actually did, started a discussion a couple of years ago when I was asked to speak to a group of leaders who manage groups of volunteers. These are managers of volunteers, and they had their professional development conference. They asked me to speak on a topic that I had never spoken on before, and I really didn't know a lot about it. So I had to do some research. And I didn't have a lot of time, didn't have a lot of resources, but it was the first time I'd ever used this. I didn't do it here. At the top of the screen, you'll see there's more. The very first one is answers. That's what I did. I just posed a question because they wanted me to find out which companies in the Dallas-Fort Worth area encourage their employees to volunteer. 2, can you volunteer on company time? 3, can you choose the charity? And they wanted me to talk about that. So I thought, how the heck do I find out that information? So I went to this, it's the first time I had ever used it, and I just wrote out those 3 questions. Does your company encourage you to volunteer? Can you volunteer on company time? Can you choose the charity? Within about 2 days, I got 15 responses, and they were posting a comment on my topic. A couple of people wrote private messages to me because they didn't want the name of their company revealed, because they didn't encourage them to volunteer, and they were, kind of hush-hush about it. But over the course of 2 weeks, I got 40 different responses. Most of them were from the DFW area. A few were from outside Texas, around Texas, and a few were from other parts of the country. And overwhelmingly, 80 to 85% of the companies did encourage their employees to volunteer. So I was able to create a spreadsheet with all those 3 questions, the names of the companies, the locations, to give to them, and I talked about that. It was exactly what they needed because they were working with volunteers who needed to volunteer their time, and if they worked for a company that's on this list, then they can go to their boss and say, I'd like to take some time off to work for this organization, and I understand that it's okay in my company. And they might not have even known that. So that was a way that I used answers as a really easy, quick way to gather information about a topic that I was going to have to speak on. So if you've got a research paper, if you've got anything, this is a great venue to gather personal information, not personal information, but personal opinions, personal views of other people that can help you reach your goals. And here, new questions. Are you playing fantasy football this year? Who's your best player? Well, I'm not, but my son is, so I could pass that one along to him. Okay, how are we doing? All right, we've got about 10 more minutes. I do need you to see this, so I'm going to go to one of my groups. I was going to go to the green group, right? Yeah, the green group. All right, I'm going to click on members, and it's going to tell me how many members there are. There are 117,000 members in the green group. So there's a good one for you, Brian. I'm going to scroll down. Most of the people on the first page are first degree contacts. I'm going to go way over here. All right, here's a second degree person. Take a look at this. This is somebody that I don't know. Michael knows somebody that I know. But look over here. I can send a message directly to Michael. But I don't know Michael. All right, I'm going to leave this for just a second, and I'm going to look up Michael's profile outside of the group and show you something remarkable. And when you open another browser to do some more LinkedIn, it automatically recognizes you. All right, advanced search is the place I always go to search for people because you have a lot more choices here. So Michael Kim is his name. All right, so there he is. He's a recruiting manager, still has the second beside his name, but look over here. Do you see anything that says send message? No. An in-mail is one that I would have to pay for. I could pay to send an in-mail. It means that they have a premium account, and if I wanted to reach them, then I would have to pay for it. But if I share a group with them, I can send a message directly. That to me is a phenomenal privilege. And how you can find out which group? Well, right here it tells me. There are 5 shared connections between Michael and me, and there's 7 shared groups. So let's see what the shared groups are. Okay, lots of shared groups. Social media marketing, e-marketing, top linked executive suite, linked HR, jobs. So since he's a recruiting manager, that makes sense that we share a lot of the things because I work with students who want a job. So I would go to one of those groups, find him, and I already have him pulled up over here, and I would send him a message. So it gives you direct access to a lot of people that you wouldn't have because you don't know them. But if I had somebody who was moving to Los Angeles, I would probably contact Michael in this way to say, I've got a friend who's moving to Los Angeles. He might be interested. He's going to be interested in looking for a job. Would it be okay for him to contact you? And that would be an easy kind of message to do. Okay? Any questions about groups? Does this make sense? Okay. All right. I'm going to do a quick search. And I've tested this out. Every time I do this kind of search, I'm going to do a search as a recruiter might do a search. Now, the recruiters have access to a paid recruiter package that they can pay for, and it gives them access to everybody in LinkedIn. But they're paying for the privilege. If it's a small business or a recruiter for a smaller company and they don't have the resources to pay for the recruiting site, recruiters can still find people this way, and it's called passive recruiting. They're looking for people who aren't necessarily looking for a job. They might be happy in their work. They might just not have my company on their radar screen. So say I'm a recruiter and I'm just looking for certain keywords. All right, say I want somebody who has physics background, speaks Mandarin, likes music. This is a crazy job that needs all these things. And is a risk taker, so likes skydiving. Okay, let's see if there's anybody like that. There are. Wow, okay. So here's one person who is in tax associate with KPMG in New York City. Lawyer probably, law practice. And this other person is an investigative technician at Target. That's interesting. With a physics, Mandarin, music, and skydiving background. So if I were really looking for somebody with those specific things, here are 2 targets. And I can just reach out to them. Let's see, could I reach out to either one of these? Doesn't look like we share any groups, doesn't look like we share any contacts. So I would probably choose this option, get introduced, because both of these people are a 3rd degree away from me. That means that somebody I know knows somebody that they know. There are 2 people between me and Yubo. Now this is a privacy thing that Yubo has put. For anybody who's not in his network, he has chosen to have only the first initial of his last name to show up. And where you find that is to go up to your name and click on settings. And you've got settings for your profile, for your email, for everything. And that's where a lot of the privacy controls lie, right there. But you might not have seen it if I hadn't pointed it out, so I wanted you to see it. All right, so I want to get introduced to Yubo. I have a friend who is a lawyer who's working in New York City. She's living here, but she flies up there once a month. She's working remotely. So how do you get introduced to somebody? All right, first of all, it takes me to the person that I know that knows somebody that Yubo knows. So I usually will choose somebody that I haven't bugged lately, because I don't want to keep asking the same people to introduce me. I actually haven't bugged Jake lately, so I would click Jake's name. And here's the introduction page. To Yubo L from Pam Stoker. I do want my contact information there because I want to create a dialogue. So I'll even add my phone number there. Then I'll choose a category. Now, they've given me a hint. They've told me over here what Yubo is interested in. It looks like he hasn't necessarily chosen anything that's not on this list. But some people are only interested in career opportunities or business deals. And if you choose something else over here like a expertise request, they're not interested. So your request is going to be rejected or ignored. So choose something that Yubo is interested in. Great. I'm looking for expertise request. And the subject line, this is what's going to show up in their email inbox. And you know some of those odd ones that end up in your junk email box where they just say, hi, or remember me? Don't do anything like that. Don't try to be cute. Be very, very forthcoming with what you want to say. I will say, friend in New York, lawyer friend in New York, interested in connecting with you. He doesn't know that I'm not the lawyer friend. It's just lawyer friend. But that will attract his attention because he's the lawyer. He's in New York. And so at least he'll open the email. So you want to hook something that will get him to open the email. And then my message to Yubo is going to be rather formal because I don't know him. He doesn't know me. I want to explain, I have a friend. I found you on LinkedIn because I was searching for these keywords. First of all, that's pretty fascinating that you like skydiving. But the reason I'm contacting you is I have a friend who is a lawyer who is working in New York. She comes up once a month because she's working remotely. She used to be the insurance commissioner for the state of Massachusetts, and I would just like for her to meet you. I would like to introduce you to her. Would you be willing to talk to me on the phone sometime next week, maybe Tuesday afternoon between 2 and 5? If you pin it down, they're more likely to look at their calendar. If you just say sometime in the next 3 weeks, they'll ignore it. So give them a target, something to look at. What I'm looking for is a dialogue. I don't want him to answer all my questions now. I just want to set up a time. All right, so that's my message to Yubo. Take a look at the introductions box on the back side of your page. See that signature block? That's just an example of what a student signature block might look like. That's important to put at the end of every single one of your email messages to anybody. It looks more professional. It creates the perception that you know how to be a professional, even if you're a freshman in school. So I would suggest that you use this, keep it someplace, and when you create this message to somebody that doesn't know you, include the entire signature block there. It looks very professional. It looks like you're not just some college kid. And then down here, I would write a brief note to Jake. Well, I know Jake, so I don't have to be so formal. I'll say, "Hi, Jake. Hope you're having a good fall. I would really appreciate your forwarding my message along to your contact in this process. Let me know what I can do for you." I always want to offer that when I'm asking somebody to do something for me. And usually they say, "Oh, nothing. You can't do anything right now, but thanks for asking." Then I click send. And once it's gone, then I have one introduction en route. With this free service that I've always had, you have 5. You can send up to 5 introduction requests at a time. But once one reaches its destination, you get that one back. So it's just kind of a rolling 5 that you can always have. All right? Many times, my message will go to Jake. Jake will send it to his friend, and his friend will send it to Yubo. Lots of times that happens all in one evening because everybody's online. As soon as Yubo gets it, you need to be careful how you word your message to Jake. Don't put anything too personal in there because Yubo will read everybody's messages along the way to get a sense of how well you know each other and what kind of, how proper are you. So when Yubo gets it, if he likes what he sees and he's interested, he'll just say accept, and then all of Yubo's contact information that he wants to reveal, his phone number and maybe his email address, will come back to me, bypassing all of the middle people. Then I can reach out to him directly. Does that make sense? That's a good way to reach out to people. I think the other ways are a little faster, but sometimes this lends a little credibility if you need it, a little extra credibility. Okay. We've covered just about everything on here that I think we have time to do. I've reached the limit. I'm sorry. But I would like, since this is a class, I want to give you some assignments. Is that okay? Okay. All right. These are assignments. Now, the only one that I'm going to see is if you invite me to connect to your network. And I would really love for you to do that. My email address is on the front page in the first slide, p.stoker@tcu.edu. My phone number is there. So you can go to your home page. I'll go back to that. And over on the right-hand side, well, we'll get there soon. There are 3 ways to invite people. On this page, this is my home page, right down here, big blue bar that says Add Connections. And if I click on that, it shows me other ways to add connections. Over here, did you see on that little video that the sound was funny? It showed that you can click on this and enter. It will pull up all of your contacts if you have them in Gmail or Outlook. That's how I got started. It will list all of your contacts. It doesn't do anything with them. It just shows you who they are and puts a star or a dot beside every one of your contacts that's already a LinkedIn user. So that's the low-hanging fruit. Those are the people that I would invite first. You don't have to convince them that LinkedIn is a great tool. They already are using it. They might not be using it very much, but they're in. So invite all of them to come. If you just want to invite some people, then you can enter their email address and send invitations. Now, it is a good idea if you were to go to my LinkedIn profile. Of course, it's not going to show that. All right, let me see. Let me go to Sherry's profile. Let's see if that works. Here you are. Okay. If you go to somebody's profile, Sherry, we're not connected. We need to be connected. Yes. Then click Add the person to your network, and that's where you would click. And I think in this one, see, how well do you know Sherry? Let's see. Well, let's say we've done business together. All right. And right here is where you will write a personal note. You can leave that and put the personal note first. Hi, Sherry. Thanks for inviting me to come today. And I would spend more time to do that. If it's somebody I know already and she has my contact information, I'll just put Pam Stoker. If it's somebody that doesn't have my card, really hasn't, well, they know we've met, we're okay, then I would say I would put my whole signature block there. If it's a recruiter or an alumni or somebody that we have a connection that I really want to invite. Now, only invite people you know well and who know you, because one person that I invited several years ago, it had been several years since I talked to her, and she rejected it, and she put on there, I do not know this person. And LinkedIn put a red flag on my account. And it happened one other time, and LinkedIn, they didn't block me, they just gave me a warning and said, you have reached out to 2 people who said they don't know you. Can you tell us what you were doing? Well, then you have to kind of make your case, and I had to tell them where I had met these people. I showed them email messages that I'd had with this person. They had just either forgotten me or something like that. So, you know, that was a real blow. They forgot me. But I was convincing enough, and LinkedIn reinstated my privileges. So I liked that. I really liked that. It's just like when somebody asked me at the cashier counter, may I see your ID to go with the credit card. I like that. It's great. All right, so your assignments are to complete your profile to 100%, and it will show you what you need to do. Invite me to your network. I need to finish this so that we can connect. There. I think I've already done it. Oh, I haven't done it. I'll finish in a minute. Invite 10 other people to your network. You've got a few in this room. Join 5 groups. There's probably an alumni group for this school, and you probably don't have to be graduated to be there. Somebody in your major, a group in your major, and then 3 others of your choosing. So you've already seen some. And then schedule a meeting with Sherry or somebody on her staff, because there are more tools like this out there, and she's got lots of resources. Any specific questions? I know I've gone over time. Any specific questions that you have for me?
Pam, could you say one thing about searching for jobs using LinkedIn?
Yes, we will. And I'm going to go back over to this other one so I don't lose my invitation to you. There is on the LinkedIn Grads Guide that we went to for that little video, there are other resources on that page that are specifically for college graduates, graduate students looking for opportunities. Because there are companies that are specifically looking for folks like you who are fresh out of school, have a lot of knowledge, a lot of enthusiasm. So definitely go to that page again. When you look at jobs, post a job, we want to find a job. There are companies that post some of their jobs exclusively on LinkedIn. I know that Google has posted several jobs, and it has a little star beside the job that says, this is exclusive, and it's not posted anywhere else. When you click on that job, sometimes it says, preference will be given to applicants with recommendations, because they're wanting to see what other people say about you. So that's why, before you do any of this other stuff, you need to complete your profile and really make it good. That's your public face. So that now as you're reaching out to other people, that's the first thing they're going to do. Now in the jobs, all right, let's say we're looking for a job in nursing. Okay, these are occupational therapist. Is that close? Okay. Not that you're going to go get the job right now.
Is the area close?
I'm sorry?
Were you asking if the area was close?
No, the job.
Oh.
The job, that's pretty close to your target. Rio Grande Valley is not real close. But let's look at this. We're going to look at the job. And it tells who it was posted by. So you can either send an in-mail, or you can go to her profile and see if there's anybody that knows you, if she's in a group with you. Since you're in nursing, you're probably going to want to join some healthcare groups. If you want to reach Becky, then I would suggest that you go to her profile and find out what group she's in. Then if you are in any of her groups, here's one: Open Rec Healthcare Recruiters, Concerned Citizens Opposing Home Healthcare Reductions. That would be a great group for you to join. And once you do, once you're accepted, then you can look her up and send a message to her directly. And say, I'm really interested in this job. Otherwise, the only option you have is to send an in-mail and pay for it. So that's one of the ways to use LinkedIn and their jobs. You can apply for that. Or you might contact her and ask her if she has any other jobs like this in other locations. Because Rio Grande Valley is not necessarily a place you want to be. Does that make sense?
Sure does.
Okay. So, so take a look at this job section, and it really does work to help you, showing you who posted it. It will also show you how many other people are in your network that work at that company. Okay? Does that help?
Yes, yes.
Okay. It's just a great site. Okay? Any other questions? Did you have a question? No? Okay. All right. Well, thank you so much for being attentive. Thank you for participating. I really enjoyed being here for you.
And as a brief token of our appreciation, we have a little gift for Pam. So if you could join me in thanking her for her presentation. You're welcome. Thank you. And if you could fill out your evaluation and give us some feedback on the program, I'd appreciate it. And one last thing is door prizes. I've got a couple of door prizes. One is a book, I'm in a job search, Now What? It has tips on searching for jobs, a chapter on using social media for job searching. So let's see who the winner of that is. And that is going to be Bobby.
Yay!
And then we have a nice portfolio as you're doing some research and searching for jobs. You can use this as well. And let's see who that's going to go to. And that's Jessica.
Yay!
Thank you again for joining us today. We have other seminars and programs coming up, and we hope to see you at some of our other events. Thank you.
I forgot to mention this other handout. This other handout that I gave you is